So, guys, I really don't think people understand just how radical and extreme the current moment we're in is. Um, Project 2025, as you all know, is basically the right-wing wish list of everything they want to do with this country. And it was like an amalgamation of dozens of these right-wing think tanks got together and they decided, let's go for it. Let's make our right-wing agenda Bible and then try to implement it. And so Project 2025, the real gist of it is the following. We want to completely destroy the regulatory state, the administrative state, and the social safety net, and at the same time, solidify what's called unitary executive theory. And the idea behind that is, really, there are no checks and balances, and the executive branch and the presidency reigns supreme and is above, the judicial branch and the legislative branch. That's the idea behind it. Now, having said that, Project 2025, they had these very detailed plans laid out as to how they were going to get their wins, right? And it involved having certain court cases get in front of judges, work its way up to the Supreme Court. You'll win these cases because they think they're on sound enough legal ground to make the argument. But what we're witnessing right now, and this is the important point, is Project 2025 on steroids and human growth hormone. They are overreaching, they are biting off more than they can chew, and they are ruining whatever legal, plausible deniability they had to get away with the stuff they want to get away with. They are now ruining it. And they're ruining it because the world's wealthiest robber baron made a deal with the president and is now basically demanding the keys to the kingdom, and he's hacking into the treasury on the back end and all of our government agencies on the back end, and he's willy-nilly cutting whatever the hell he wants to cut, which is in contravention of every law and the Constitution, and any judge, even right-wing judges, will tell you exactly that. So let me walk you through this here, because what we're witnessing is genuinely and sincerely worse than even Project 2025. Let's start with this. So this one's in Rolling Stone. Trump and Musk's Valentine's Day massacre of military veterans. In a late-night purge, 7 federal agencies carried out mass layoffs, 1,000 at the VA alone, the nation's largest employer of military veterans. So here, they walk you through it. Picture this. You risk everything for your country, leave friends and family behind, go overseas, watch your friends die or have their lives change forever. You come home, adjusting isn't easy, the nightmares keep you up, that old military injury never really heals, you work full-time, go to school, scrape by just to make it, then one day you get the email, congratulations, we are offering you a tentative job at the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs, or at the Department of Defense, or USAID, or another agency. Finally, after years of sacrifice, you have a fresh start. You buy a home, get married, have kids, maybe even travel. 10 years go by, you've built a life, you have a steady career, glowing performance evaluations, and now a family and a mortgage. You did it. Your service paid off. You're finally living the American dream. Then a promotion opportunity comes along. Just the raise you need to book the dream vacation with your family. The only catch? A short probationary period. No big deal. You've had a stellar record in federal service and the military. You take the job. Then Elon Musk, an unelected billionaire with no ties to the military, fires you. Everything you built, gone in an instant. At the whim of someone who has nothing to do with your service, your sacrifice, or your career. So this is what they're talking about with firing all of the probationary employees. They just did that, and that means the scenario I just laid out for you. This is who's being impacted by it, right? These are people that have careers, that have lives, and just willy-nilly on a whim because Elon didn't want them, fired them illegally. On the eve of this Valentine's Day, that is the brutal blow Trump and Musk have dealt to America's veterans. The administration this week began aggressively laying off thousands of government employees across multiple agencies, hitting veterans hard. The Department of Veterans Affairs confirmed late Thursday night that it has let go more than 1,000 probationary employees this week. The U.S. Forest Service is dismissing 3,400 employees. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, basically, as you know, it's being killed. They're going after the Department of Education, Small Business Association. Anyway, but look at this. Ready? So this goes to show you what the impact is for veterans' health. I am absolutely devastated. Last night, myself and many others at the Veterans Crisis Line were terminated without warning via an email sent after hours due to actions by the Trump administration. Nobody, including leadership, had any idea this was coming. This decision not only deeply affects me and my family, but will also negatively impact veterans who rely on this service. I'm a veteran and current military member. I was hired as a military spouse. I have outstanding performance appraisals. I've been a federal employee for almost 9 years. I was just 12 days away from completing my probationary period. I recently switched agencies from the Department of Defense to Veterans Affairs, which resets your first year as probationary. I'm supposed to start my paid maternity leave in less than 10 weeks. I am crushed by what is happening under this administration. I'm begging you all to open your eyes of what's really happening in this country and stop being blinded by ignorance. This is wrong on so many levels. So they fired the Veterans Crisis Line employees. So you know how we have like a veteran suicide crisis in this country? A very large number of veterans, when they get back to this country, they end up committing suicide. This was the Veteran Crisis Line. Willy-nilly just fired those employees. Guys, we're just getting started. I'm just getting started with telling you what these charlatans and these con men and these cretins and these frauds are up to. Ready? Here's another example. So this is a random Trump supporter on Facebook. Ready? This is to Trump. Hello, sir. I'm one of the probationary employees terminated by Doge at 9 p.m. last night, February 14th. I voted for you, sir, 3 times, and I still support you. I was encouraged by Doge to see they were getting rid of wasteful government spending. I support that, too. My termination letter said I was being let go for performance reasons. I know that's not true. I'm an excellent employee. I've been with the federal government for almost 16 years. 16 years in June. I had started my career with USDA, transferred to DHS, and recently came back to USDA because it's such a great agency to work for. Surely that must count for something in your eyes. I'm loyal, and I firmly believe that the work I do as a USDA APHIS PPQ employee is vital and important. My boss, his boss, the managers in neighboring states all agree I'm doing an excellent job and that I'm a great asset to the team. I'm the only one in the state of Kentucky, and my work here is valued and honorable. Each time I voted for you, it was because I knew you were making things right and you'd fix the wrongs. I'm counting on you now to make this right too. I'm pleading with you to reinstate my employment and give me my job back. Please, Mr. President, thank you. So a Trump supporter lost their government job on a whim because Elon Musk, in a ketamine-fueled purge, decided, we don't need these probationary ones. Kick them out. Kill them. Who cares? Get rid of them. And this is the result. There's a lot of people who have mixed feelings about stuff like this, right? That's where you're hearing the FAFO, FAFO, fuck around, find out. That's where that reaction is coming from a lot of people. But look, I'm here to tell you, while I understand that emotion, I understand that instinct, because the feeling is, I thought you were going to hurt those people, not me, right? I didn't think the leopards would eat my face as I vote for the leopards eating people's faces party, right? Like, that's the reality. But look, game, set, match, right? Checkmate. Like, now you got to know. Now it's a slap in the face. Now it's a wake-up call, like, oh shit, what have I done? Yeah, that's the point. And that's what we were trying to warn you about. But you know what? Like, I get all the criticisms of you, but I still wish the best for you. I still want this person to get their job back, right? I've said this before, but MAGA, when they see me, the far right, when they see me, they wish harm on me, right? Or you. Anybody who really vehemently disagrees with them, they hate you. They want to see you struggle. They want to see, I'm not like that. You know, I will vehemently and ruthlessly disagree with MAGA. But at the end of the day, I'll look them in the eye and say, you're fucking wrong. You have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. You're an idiot. But you know what I wish for you? I wish you had free healthcare. I wish you had higher wages. I wish you had more paid vacation time, right? That's the difference between us and them. That's it. They wish harm on those who disagree with them. I don't wish harm on these people. I don't wish harm. I'll call them an idiot. I'll tell them they're fucking wrong. I'll tell them this is embarrassing. I'll tell them it's pathetic. But at the end of the day, I want this person to get their job back. Because what's happening here is objectively not right. So, I mean, it's gut-wrenching when you read it, right? It's gut-wrenching. But at the same time, you want to throw some cold water in their face and be like, we fucking warned you. We warned you about this, bro. All right, more. So this woman was an analyst at the Centers for Medicaid and Medicare. Hey, Elon Musk, your Doge minions just fired me and my colleagues at CMMI. We were working on improving maternal health outcomes at lower costs so that less pregnant women would die in this country. I thought that would fit nicely into your agenda. The administration told media yesterday that the HHS cuts were targeted and didn't include scientists or people working on Medicare and Medicaid. Well, I know of scientists who got fired, and I work on Medicaid. Just wanted to point out, when you get things wrong, like you requested. So in other words, and is super important takeaway, guys, don't listen to a fucking word they say. It's not about what they say. It's about what they do. Look at their actual actions. Look at the real results. Look at the reporting. Because they'll lie relentlessly. They'll lie shamelessly over and over and over. They still come out, Trump and Musk still come out and say, we're getting rid of the waste, fraud, and abuse. The waste, fraud, and abuse. Meanwhile, they're dismantling entire government agencies. They killed the anti-scam police, right? So who are we kidding here? Don't listen to what they say. Look at what they do. And this is just another example of it. Guys, I'm still not done. U.S. Senator for New Mexico. Trump just fired 88 employees at the Western Area Power Administration. Combined with Elon's buyout, we could be looking at a 20% reduction in their workforce, crippling the Western grid and leading to blackouts and power outages. This is the thing, right? Like, he literally sees the name on paper, Western Area Power Administration, and he goes, I don't know, that doesn't sound too important. Fired. All illegally, all unconstitutionally, but this is what he's doing. And then, come to find out, wow, those jobs actually were super important. No shit. But this is what you get when you're dealing with somebody who's an anti-government extremist. He's a capitalist fundamentalist, but that only applies to you. That only applies to regular people. They want no social safety net for you, no government help for you. Meanwhile, Elon's getting tens of billions of dollars in government subsidies, corporate welfare checks. That's what he's getting. That's how he props up SpaceX and Starlink, and he's getting tens of billions of dollars in U.S. government contracts. Also, he just had an increase of an extra $400 million government contract to make armored Teslas. The same time he's cutting all of these programs. We just talked about it the other day. They accidentally fired the people who oversee our nuclear weapons stockpile. We just talked about that earlier. Accidentally. Whoops! Tee-hee-hee. Were those the people who do nuclear safety for us? Oh, wow. What a mistake. Bring them back, please. We didn't mean to do that. It's act now, ask questions later, right? That's the idea. This is great. Ready? The World Health Organization says the CDC cut off communication. The flu is slamming the U.S. with 24 million cases, 310,000 hospitalizations, and 13,000 deaths since October. And the CDC has gone dark. Critical data on flu strains, severity, and potential co-infections is missing. Now, the reason why they're doing this is because Trump remembers what happened during COVID. And his reaction to that is not to, improve our pandemic preparedness. His reaction to that is, what if we just censored and muzzled all the reporting of the facts? What if we just bury our head in the sand and tell people, bro, everything's great, don't worry about it. Oh, our hospital's being overrun in New York and Ohio? Tee-hee-hee. That's got nothing to do with it. I don't even know what you're talking about. That's actually not happening, bro. Saying the World Health Organization and the CDC are cutting off communication, they're done. They're not talking anymore. We are currently regressing at a rapid pace. Now, by the way, like I said, Project 2025, their goal was to destroy the administrative and regulatory state. No doubt about it. And they had all these lawsuits ready to go to do that through what they thought was a legal process. This is Elon coming in and going, fuck the Constitution, fuck the laws. This is Trump going, fuck the Constitution, fuck the laws. Let's just break shit now. Let's just break it now. And so they're doing it in a way where, again, any judge in the country would say, you're not allowed to do it this way. This is illegal. This is unconstitutional. And we're going to demand that you reverse a lot of these decisions, right? So they're ruining the legal plausible deniability that the Project 2025 people have. But again, the question is, they still might get away with it. Because it's so easy to destroy a government agency, but it's very difficult to build one up. And that's the point here, which is terrifying, is that for far-right ideologues, for capitalist fundamentalists, it's easy for them to go in and take a sledgehammer at everything and say, fuck it. We don't care about who we destroy, what we break, the downsides of this. We don't give a shit, right? But for people on the Democratic side and liberals and leftists, it's hard to actually build up a government program. So the long-term consequences here are absolutely devastating. All right, more. This one is from Jeff Stein of the Washington Post. Trump-Musk layoffs ripple across the country. Energy department staff who handled homeowners' electricity bills were fired, potentially leaving no one to take the money that keeps their lights on. That's good. In one state, all but two of the employees who helmed an agriculture department program assisting poor rural communities were fired. In a tiny Wyoming town, a Forest Service office that has spent decades providing support to hikers, Christmas tree permits to residents, and firewood for the elderly has been forced to shutter. This is his vision for America. This is their vision for America. And they want to do this at the same time they and their robber baron buddies get to loot the treasury more. So at the same time they're doing all these swashbuckling cuts for programs that actually are good for people and for jobs that are important. Internal U.S. aid memo instructs employees to refrain from talking to the media about cuts in aid to the most vulnerable, or they may get fired, Washington Post reports. Trump World knows this is a big political problem for them. So, in other words, and again, this one's actually in the New Republic, what they're saying is, hey, we're going to keep making these like U.S. aid cuts, but now if you have information on it, you are not allowed to talk to the media. So, again, it's the same strategy that they're using with the World Health Organization and that they're using with our health agencies. Instead of like, just destroy the data gathering process. Just don't tell people the truth of what's going on and then they won't know. And then we're good. Right? Out of sight, out of mind type stuff. That's what they're doing here. We know we're making all these horrific cuts that go, children with HIV and AIDS, medicine for them, medicine for cancer research here and this thing there. And they know, oh my God, this looks really, really ugly. What if we just ban people from telling the media the facts of what's happening? Guys, these are evil people. That's what I need you to understand. These are genuinely evil people. You ready for this one? So Chris Hayes posted this the other day, right? Let's start with this here. George Pierkis says, okay, what is going on here? Are the accountants at a private banking entity? Does the federal government have direct debit permission set up? So many questions as to how the Treasury instructed this payment. This is from a New York Post article. New York City Comptroller released the following statement. This morning, my financial team shockingly uncovered that President Trump and his crony Elon Musk illegally executed a revocation of $80 million in congressionally appropriated FEMA funding from New York City's bank accounts late yesterday afternoon. This is money that the federal government previously dispersed for shelter and services and is now missing. This highway robbery of our funds directly out of our bank account is a betrayal of everyone who calls New York City home. And then Chris Hayes points out here, this is absolutely insane. Musk's Doge crew just straight up took $80 million from a New York City bank account. What in the fuck are we talking about? This account also says, what Elon Musk and Kristi Noem did yesterday is a big crime. Not just philosophically, it is an actual series of crimes that would put you or I in the coldest, darkest prison cell they have. They hacked a bank account and stole money that didn't belong to them. It does, however, belong to New York. The money was reimbursement for housing migrants for the last 4 years that Greg Abbott bust all over the country. It's money that goes to New York City and the people that live there. So Doge is now at the point where it's not just, hey, we're going to cut off these jobs. Hey, we're going to cut off this funding that's supposed to go to this agency or that agency. Now Doge is at the point where even FEMA funds that were already sent to New York City, they went into the bank account, took the money back. Tell me how this is anything other than a fascist dictatorship at this point. There are no rules. There are no regulations. There is no process. There are no checks and balances. This is a rogue crew of robber barons doing whatever the fuck they want on a daily basis and not caring about the consequences and who they hurt, and in many instances, who they literally kill. Friday evening Doge news continues. NASA staffers have received a memo saying that Doge has arrived on site at the agency and that the agency is anticipating the large-scale reductions in force ordered by the Trump-Musk-Vance administration. So, in other words, as Prem Thakur points out here, the richest man on Earth, who owns a space technology company, SpaceX, is slashing the U.S. government space program with no electoral mandate to do so. So he is illegally trying to take out the U.S. government competitor, NASA, to SpaceX. And gee, I wonder who's going to fill that gap. I wonder if Elon Musk is going to get another $20 billion, $30 billion in U.S. government funds so that he can skim off the top and put some money in his pocket. At the same time, he continues whatever work NASA was supposedly doing, and doing it worse off, by the way, right? The thing that's so terrifying about this is that now the question is no longer, hey, is this thing legal or illegal? Is this thing constitutional or unconstitutional? That's no longer the question, because the answer is fucking yes. Obviously, it's not even close. That's the answer. The question is, who's going to do something about it? Who's going to do something about it? We already have a laundry list of maybe 500 crimes that these people have committed. And they're still just whistling Dixie and moving along like it's no problem whatsoever. I mean, could you imagine Imagine George Soros illegally hacked into our government agencies and killed a U.S. government agency that directly competes with one of his companies. Like, the right would be bringing out the guillotines, bro. What are we talking about here? Unbelievable. I'm still not done, y'all. I told you, Project 2025 on steroids. Okay, ready? Look at this. So Elon said the following. Somebody tweeted, what will happen in broader academia when clear scientific consensus is that AI-assisted education delivers better outcomes than 3.8 million teachers currently do? Elon says, that is already possible. So this is what you hear from these tech feudalist authoritarian fascists like Elon, like Mark Andreessen, like Peter Thiel, like the whole gaggle of idiots, right? This is what you hear from them. They're excited about the fact that AI is going to replace all of our jobs. They say it openly. Like, yeah, AI is going to replace everybody's job. And they think it's like a good thing. And they have no concern, no care about the consequences. Hey, what happens to these people after all of their jobs are taken away by fucking robots? We don't live in a world where it would be like, hey, yeah, the robot took your job, but guess what? You reap the rewards. You get the benefits. You're still going to get a paycheck coming to your bank account. No, they don't give a fuck about you. They want to do it to put more money in their pockets. They want to do it to get wealthier. We are talking about, we're already in a second Gilded Age. We are talking about income and wealth inequality, the likes of which the world maybe has never seen. In that sort of scenario, we all lose our jobs. Robots replace all of our jobs. He's saying, yeah, fuck those 3.8 million teachers. Eventually, AI is going to replace them, and that's a good thing. This is who this guy is. The same guy, the world's richest man, the world's richest robber baron, who's trying to put a fucking chip in everybody's brain. Another thing, apparently the Starlink satellites are being used for a massive spy network. I mean, this guy is straight out of a dystopian sci-fi novel. This guy's a comic book villain and then some. This is what he's openly talking about. And then finally we have this. Look at these numbers, bro. Look at these numbers. This is crazy. Roughly 275,000 federal workers lost their jobs this week. That's over 10% of the federal workforce. This is going to have colossal consequences. 75,000 took the buyout, which was illegal, by the way. They have no authority to do that. It's not a guarantee these people are going to get their money. I mean, we are really skating on thin ice here. 200,000 probationary workers were let go. The White House has not confirmed the total, but this is how many were on probationary status. 200,000. That's a lot of lives upended, and many government services will be impacted. While most organizations can survive a 10% cut, keep in mind, these cuts were not even across the government. Many agencies hit hard in Trump's first term are being decimated now. And that's where we get, as you know, like the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau being absolutely destroyed. The Department of Education being absolutely destroyed. Now, you know, they were messing around in the Department of Energy and willy-nilly fired the people who look over our nuclear weapons. Never in my wildest dreams. I was the one who was warning everybody how bad the Trump second term would be. I was the one warning everybody, like, you don't understand, there's zero guardrails left anymore. This is a guy who got away with 91 crimes. This is a guy who got away with January 6th and the fake elector slate and trying to steal the election. He's deeply authoritarian. There's nobody in the administration that's going to say, sir, sorry, you can't shoot protesters in the leg. That's not a good idea. Sir, this is illegal. You can't do this thing. You can't do that thing. Those people are gone. But never in my wildest imagination did I think it would have gone this far, this fast, and been this much of a disaster, where basically the keys to the treasury were handed over to Elon Musk, the world's wealthiest robber baron, and he is deleting any and all government agencies that he doesn't like, ruining people's lives casually, cutting off things like cancer research and HIV medicine for kids and the anti-scam police and the Department of Education. Never in my wildest dreams, because I've never seen anything this illegal, this unconstitutional, this obviously so, and we're still just acting like, you know, go read the headlines in the New York Times. Trump acts very boldly and very fast. Bro, what are we doing here? As I said, Project 2025 on steroids. That's what we're witnessing. And the question is no longer, is this illegal or is this not illegal? Because the answer is yes, it's illegal. The question is, who's going to do something about it? And to this point, I ain't seeing much. I ain't seeing much being done about this. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop. And watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.